Hi and welcome to our February release webinar. My name is Till Fryer and I am going to show you what new features we have added to Corona in our last release. The release was deployed last weekend, so you will be able to use all new features I'm going to present right away. Before I start, I would like to thank everyone for joining these webinars. It's really great to see more and more users participate in making Corona better every day. We truly appreciate your feedback. Also, if you have questions during the webinar, there's a chat option right next to the video. I will try to answer all questions at the end of the presentation. The last release contained many new features and even one new add-on package. But before I get into that, I would like to start with the smaller changes that will impact most users. The previous couple releases all included some improvements for stock orders. So does this one. When you edit an order, you used to enter the single item quantity, and the system would automatically set the right container quantity. Many users have reported that they would like to adjust the container quantity rather than the single item quantity. Now you have the option to do both. Right next to the single item quantity field, you can now find the container quantity and adjust that as well as the single item quantity. Another new feature affects the item info pop-up that helps you decide on order quantities. This pop-up shows some additional information to show you the reorder levels. This helps users who are generating orders based on reorder levels to understand why the system is suggesting a certain order quantity. So I have to say, personally, I was quite excited about these new order features, but we even have another one. As you know, Corona can send out your orders via email directly to your supplier via PDF. Now you have another option, which is CSV. Many suppliers and vendors accept CSV as order option, and some even prefer it, as it allows them to process your order faster and avoid mistakes that cause frustration for merchants and suppliers. You can change the order format per supplier. Simply change the order interface to CSV in the supplier record. Now let's have a quick look at customers. We have added a couple new features here as well. When you open the customer list, you will now find the advanced filter option that we have added to many other lists already. This allows you to filter your customer database by specific filter options. In addition, customer records also have a new field for the company now. And of course, there's also an advanced filter for that as well. When it comes to serving your customers, many people have taken advantage of order requests to manage orders for customers. Therefore, we have added a whole new option for customer orders. Now let me show you how these work at the point of sale. First, you add the items to the receipt that the customer would like to order. Then you can set a specific customer to the receipt. Once the order looks good, you can use the new function Create Customer Order. Here you have the option to add some custom notes. There are two types of notes. The first type will appear on the receipt. The second type is an internal note that will not be visible to the customer. In addition, you can set a deposit amount and a pickup date. Now we only have to collect the deposit using one of the payment methods you have set up for the point of sale. In the back office, you have the ability to review the order and adjust notes. Once the customer returns to pick up their order, you can simply scan the order code printed on the order or enter in the order number. As you can see, you have the option to review and modify the order. And if it's all set, you can hand over the items to the customer and finish the order by simply hitting the pay button. Now we just have to collect the remaining amount due and we are all set. In the back office, the order will now not be visible in the default order list, but it can still be found using the filter. Here we can also see that the order has been completed and when it was completed. This new customer order process leads us right into the new add-on package called invoicing. The invoicing package gives us some advanced features to deal with customer orders. I don't want to go into too much detail during this release presentation because the whole feature set of this package is too extensive for this release presentation. But I would like to at least point out what you can generally do with it. Let's start with the early stage of the sales flow. Quotes. You can generate price quotes right in Korona. These can be generated in the back office and at the point of sale. Right from the quote, you can create delivery notes, custom orders, or even invoices. Of course, you can also skip quotes and start right away with the delivery note or even invoice. But let's go through the process really quick and create a delivery note to record that we have delivered a service or product to the customer. Once we have done that, we can create an invoice right from the delivery note. Let's finalize this invoice right away and even mark it as paid. Now this seems pretty straightforward, but I would like to point out a very important difference to the usual sales workflow. We have now completed a whole sale fully in the back office. So let me give you an example where this can be useful. Let's handle web store sales. You now have the ability to enter all web store sales through the Korona back office, and this will serve two purposes: to adjust your inventory levels and track your web store sale revenue. Your web store developer even has the ability to integrate the whole process through the Korona API. If you're interested in these features, they can be added in any Korona account. The add-on package is called invoicing. Okay, I have another small improvement that will be the first of many. The statistic for the average receipt revenue by hour has a new filter, which allows you to filter by day of the week. This has been requested by many users for many different statistics. This is the first one we have implemented, and we are planning on adding this filter to our similar statistics as well. Now, the set of last features I would like to present is certainly an important one. I know many of you have been waiting patiently for this. It's about your QuickBooks Online integration. When you go into your data exchange area, you will now find a single QuickBooks Online button. Behind this button, you will find your control center for syncing data into QuickBooks Online. The first sync button is a sync option that many have been using already. It syncs your sales data into QuickBooks Online. But there's another button which allows you to get your Korona and QuickBooks much more integrated. Before you start syncing your inventory assets, you have to decide on the level of detail. There are three options: Basic, which puts all your inventory value in one asset account; Advanced, which will create one inventory asset account per master commodity group, meaning commodity groups that do not have a parent commodity group; and Detailed, which creates an inventory asset account for each individual commodity group. If you do not have nested commodity groups, Advanced and Detailed will do exactly the same. Now let's sync our inventory assets. After the initial sync is completed, you will have even more options. Moving forward, you can sync every stock receipt that has been booked. This will create a purchase in QuickBooks and break it down for the same level of detail you have selected for your inventory sync. And if this wasn't already exciting enough, you can do the exact same for cost of goods. Now there can always be something that throws you out of sync, which can lead into a major headache trying to trace back every single step. If this happens to you, simply use the Sync Inventory button again. This will create an adjustment in QuickBooks to get your accounting numbers up to date. Okay, we have made it through all the major new improvements. I'm going to move on to the questions now. Please feel free to continue to ask questions while we are online. If you missed to ask your question or have trouble using the webinar chat, just send us an email. The address is support@combase-usa.com. Now please allow me just 1 second to read over my list of questions here. Okay, it doesn't look like we have too many questions this morning. If you still have questions, I'm going to stay on the line for a little bit longer, so please feel free to submit any questions you may have. You can also submit questions via email at support@combase-usa.com. Okay, looks like nobody has any questions, so I would like to thank everyone for joining the webinar, and I'm hoping you'll join again for our next release webinar. So thanks everyone, and have a good day.